Hi, I'm Jason, and I'm going to walk you through how to set up and customize your Shopify store. This video sets itself apart from other Shopify tutorials as I've dedicated hours to handpicking the best clips from the top videos, each one offering the clearest explanation of every key Shopify feature. And to help support these creators, down in my description, you'll find a link to all of their Shopify affiliate links, which will give you Shopify for only $1 per month for the next 3 months. Once you're all signed in, go ahead and pick the basic plan for about $30 per month. That's all you're going to need right up front. Once you got that all set up, let's set up our store. First up is going to be Daryl Wilson. He's really good at showing us how to set up our theme and choosing which one we want. Before I get to Daryl, I just want to show you how to actually get to your theme. So once you sign it to Shopify, go down to Online Store, click on Themes, and this is where he picks up.
All right, so this is the Shopify dashboard. This is where all the magic happens. This is where we can adjust our store, create products, and also view our customers. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is adjust our Shopify theme. On the left side, we'll click on Online Store. Now, the very first thing you can do is actually take a look at our new store. So here on the View Your Store, if you click on this, this will give you a visual of what your store looks like. And you'll see it's, it's pretty cool, pretty cute, right? We got some images and products and stuff like that. Now, how Shopify works is for every Shopify store, there are specific themes you can select. The Dawn theme is selected on our store by default, so this is what our store looks like. If you want to switch different themes for your store, there are some popular free themes that you can select for your Shopify store.
It's highly recommended just to stick with the free themes, but if you want to check out the premium ones and see what they're all about, you can actually go in there and view a demo of them, or you can actually customize each one and save your changes, and Shopify will actually save all of your changes, but you can't use a premium theme until you actually buy it. However, as I just mentioned, I recommend just staying with the Dawn theme, as most tutorials are going to be using it, and it's actually a pretty remarkable theme for free. So go ahead and use it, get comfortable with it, and then once you feel you could expand to something else, go ahead and do that.
If you want to switch your theme, so for example, we have this craft theme, all I'll do is click on Add. And now Shopify is going to now add the craft theme for our Shopify store. After it's been installed, you can now publish this new theme to your store. So on the right side, I'll click on Publish. And now I'm going to replace the Dawn theme with the craft theme. So I'll click on Publish. And now you'll see our new theme has been published to the store. And if you want to take a look, I'll click on View Your Store. And now this is our new theme for our Shopify store. So it just changes the formats, changes the structure, but not to worry, we can always adjust all this later. Now to switch back to the Dawn theme, I'll click back to our Shopify dashboard, and we can scroll down, and under Theme Library, I can republish the Dawn theme. So for the Dawn theme, I'll go ahead and republish our original theme. So I'll click on Publish, and then I'll click on Publish. And that's it. So that's how we can switch between various themes. And if we take a quick look, if I click on View Your Store, you'll see it goes back to the original Dawn theme that we first had when we started our store.
Next up is customizing and designing your store. I use Julia from Shopify Success. She's by far one of the best designers I've seen somebody do on Shopify. So I hope you enjoy her designs and all the tips she provides.
So this is the main theme editor area where we'll be spending most of the time customizing. Now to edit some of the more general settings of the store, like fonts, animations, colors, and so on, we're going to go over here and click on Theme Settings. The first option is Logo, which brings us to the first step of this online store design. If you haven't created a logo yet, I recommend using Kittl. This is my favorite design tool, and they have tons of logo templates you could use. They even have an AI logo generator. I'll leave a free version of Kittl linked below with a discount code you can use if you want to go for a paid subscription. And to help you in this process, you'll also find a link to a free resource I've prepared for you, which is going to be really helpful in the branding part. It covers everything you'll need to know to create a successful brand from scratch. So you'll find it linked for free in the description. Once your logo is ready, make sure to export it with a transparent background. You can also export it normally as a PNG, and then use this free tool linked below to remove the background. Once that's ready, let's upload it to the store. So click on Logo and select Image. And here you can adjust the size of the logo. I'll leave mine just a little bit bigger. Now let's close the logo settings. If you want to change the colors of your store, you can do that right here. And to change the fonts, you can go to typography. So let's go back to the sections. And the next thing we're going to do is add an image banner. I definitely recommend you spend some extra time gathering the best looking images you can find for this, as a visual appeal is one of the most important things when it comes to selling. You can also use Kittl to find high quality stock images, or even to design a custom banner. They do also have an AI image generator, so you could come up with whatever is in your imagination. Kittl is linked down below.
I want to show you real quick that Shopify has on their website image guideline, and they walk you through pretty much anything you want to know about images, because as Julie mentioned, images are very important, but you want to make sure they don't slow down your website and their aspect ratio is right, and they just fit very nicely with your design. So as you can see, they have different guidelines of what they show you for logos, banners, etc. They also give you guidelines of what you should keep in mind when you're doing it, why they're important, the sizes, and how to create a better user experience.
Below. So click on Image Banner and select Image to upload your file. On Dawn, you can also add a second image to the banner, so the whole thing would split in two and show two different photos. To add a second image, you can click here.
When choosing between just one image, two images, a carousel, etc., go through your industry and figure out what other people are using and use that as inspiration. Because your store is new, the most important thing is to establish trust. This way somebody's willing to put their credit card number onto your website and purchase something from you. So if you notice, I'm going through Adidas and Nike, and they're pretty much exactly the same color-wise and layout. So I recommend seeing what your industry is doing and fitting in with them. This way people think you're legitimate and you're just not some fly-by-night store.
Now to help the text stand out better, you can adjust the opacity setting to make the image a little bit darker. To change the size of your banner, you can choose one of these options. Alright, now let's fill in some content. Click on this block. And here, you are going to add your store title. Now as you can see, we also have a button block in the banner. So let's click on it. And here you can customize your button text and where it links to. I recommend you leave this text to something general like Shop All or Shop Now. And leave it linked to all products.
That's pretty much it for designing your store. And now that we're mentioning products, let's actually go ahead and add our products to our store. One of the best videos out there for it is Shopify's own official guide.
When setting up your Shopify store, one of the most important steps is adding products and organizing them into collections. So now I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do just that. To get your products into Shopify, the first thing you need to do is navigate to the products section of your Shopify admin panel. Here's how to add your first product. From your Shopify dashboard, go to the left sidebar and click on Products. This will bring you to the Products page where you'll see all the items you've added so far. Click Add Product at the top right of the page. This opens the product creation page where you can enter all the details of your new product. Fill in the product information with all the key details like the title. Here is where you will enter the product name. Remember to keep it short, clear, and easy to read, because in the description is where you can get into more of the details like size, color, features, or in this case, flavor. When uploading the media for your new product, remember to always use high quality, clear, and attractive images. This is probably the most important step in listing a product because people are all about the visuals.
Real quick, I just want to remind you of the cheat sheet Shopify has regarding images and how to keep them really small but high quality. This way you're not slowing down your website, yet you're also having high quality images. That's down in the description. When it comes to choosing what images to have, if you're like a shoe company or something, look at your industry, as I mentioned before, right? So looking at Nike again, we'll notice they're not just having a bunch of shoes. That looks too boring. They have lifestyles. And it's not until you get down at the bottom, they actually just show the shoe by itself. So look at your industry, look what other people are using that works, and just use them as inspiration.
Better visuals enhance trust and increase conversions. Set the price for your product. Shopify also allows you to set up a compare at price. If you want to show the customer, they're getting a discount. Under the inventory section, add the number of products you have available for sale. You can also manage inventory across multiple locations if you have more than one warehouse or store. And you can set up a SKU, which is also helpful for inventory management.
One thing I think they glossed over too quickly was whether or not you want to continue selling when something's out of stock. Now, if you think about it, when something's out of stock, that means other people have bought it and it's a hot item. This might help create a demand for your product that's artificial, that's not really there. But when things are out of stock, people know, hey, someone else likes this, and maybe I'll like it too, whether that's subconscious or not. The downside is if you're always out of stock, customers don't like that and they won't come back unless you're a really popular company. Now, if you do want to continue selling something when it is out of stock, this is also good because if you have high demand, you just keep selling and you know how much demand you have to fill. So when you order, you know how many things to order. It's easier to forecast your order of inventory, etc. So there's pros and cons to each. So it's kind of up to you to figure out which one's best for you. But to keep things simple, I would stop selling once something's out of stock. That's the easiest method to go with.
Underneath that, you can input the weight for shipping if it's a physical good. This is important for determining shipping costs. And select different variants if your product comes in different options like sizes, colors, or materials. Once you do all that, the very last field at the bottom will show you what the search engine listing will look like. Here you can make any necessary edits for SEO optimization. And then if you scroll all the way back up and over to the right column, you'll see that you can choose which sales channels you'd like to publish your new item on and which markets. And finally, we made it to the product organization. Here you can add product categories and tags, which helps with organizing your products and improving search functionality on your website, and manually add your product to a collection. Oh, and don't forget to hit save at the bottom right. Okay, so what are collections? Collections are groups of products that share a common theme or category. You can create collections based on product types, seasons, sales, or any other grouping that makes sense for your store. There are two types of collections you can create. One, manual collections, which means you select which products to include. Or two, automated collections, where Shopify automatically adds products to the collection based on criteria like tags, product type, or price range. To create a collection, go to your Shopify admin panel and navigate to Products, then Collections. Click on Create Collection, and you'll be prompted to enter some details like collection name. Give your collection a clear name like what's trending or bestsellers. Description. Add a short description of the collection to help customers understand what it's about, like our What's Trending collection features the boldest, most talked about hot sauces that are taking the flavor world by storm, or spice things up with the hottest flavors of the moment. For a manual collection, you'll need to go through and add products individually by selecting them from your product list. And for an automated collection, choose Smart. Here you can set the conditions under which products are added. For example, you can auto-add all products with the tag mild. Don't worry, if you want to adjust it, you can always edit the collection or add and remove products. Be descriptive in naming your collections, and remember that your collection description not only helps your customers understand what's in
Using
it,
Nucky as an
but it
example
also can
again,
improve
you will notice
SEO.
on their website, the main homepage has certain sports. These are the sports that are pushing right now for the month of August. They did a bunch of analysis and said, okay, we want to make our collections for these three sports. And when you go up through the top section, you'll see they also have a back to school special because school's coming up. So it's recommended to keep your collections dynamic where they change with the season. And the reason why is this nets you more sales.
Once your collections are created, you can organize them in your store's navigation. Go to Online Store, then Navigation to adjust the order in your main menu. Collections like What's Trending and Bestsellers should live
now
at the
that we have our
top of your
collections all
navigation
built,
bar.
let's go ahead and pan them to our front page, and let's have Julia show us how to do that.
The first thing we're going to do is add a section named Featured Collection. So click on Add Section and on Featured Collection. Now up here, you're going to select the collection you want to show. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the title to create a better aesthetic. And down here, you can choose how many products you want to show. You can also choose in how many columns they will appear.
Best practice is not to overwhelm your customers with too many thumbnails and images to click on. So if we use Nike example again, we have just one big image at the top, then we got two, and then we got three. So if you look, it's a 1, 2, 3, and then a many layout. They also have at the bottom an actual title for the collections. So even though Julia removed it, it's still okay and recommended to use it in certain situations. Go ahead and look at your competitors or other industry businesses and see what they do.
I'll leave mine like this. If you want to, you can also delete this View All button by going over here and unticking this box. Or you can also change the button style here in the section. If you have many products in this collection and you wish to show all of them, you could activate this carousel feature, which allows users to scroll horizontally. And make sure to also enable this feature right here, Show Second Image on Hover. This is going to create a really nice visual effect every time your products are hovered.
The next step after creating your whole front page is doing your footer, right? So let's go ahead and check out Caleb's video to see how he did it.
The next thing that we'll want to customize is our store's footer. We can do that by scrolling all the way down on our website and finding it here. To start customizing it, let's simply click into it, and then we'll see some settings appear over here on the left-hand side. The first thing that you'll notice is an email sign up option. This is a great way to encourage customers to sign up for your newsletter. You can offer them a discount or a coupon code. For my store, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off though, but it's up to you if you want to use this. You have some other miscellaneous options here that you can turn off and on. You have the follow on shop option. If you have Shop Pay enabled, you can go ahead and turn this on. You can have your social media icons, a country and region selector, as well as a language selector. The payment method icons that your store accepts. Right now, we only have PayPal and Venmo because we have not configured Shopify payments yet. And then we have our policy links. Right now, the only thing configured is our privacy policy. This is normal. We have to do this on our own. Since we're already here, let's go ahead and configure those policy pages now. Shopify makes it super easy to find where those are at. Just click on the Manage Policies button here, and that's going to open up a new tab for us, and we can configure our policy pages right here.
The return and shipping policies will go more into depth later on to the video because we'll go over those more specifically as those have actual functions with your store.
Let's start by configuring our return and refund policy. Click into it and then click on Insert Template. Once I do that, you're going to see a ton of information appear here. This is all just kind of a blanket statement. Go through, read through it, make sure you're happy with the policy itself. And if there's anything that you want to change, like for example, a 30-day return policy, you could change this to a 15-day return policy if you wanted to. Once you're happy with your return and refund policy, click on Publish.
In continuing the theme of building trust with your customers, especially since you're a new store, it's best to have a pretty easygoing refund policy just because if a customer is going to your store, they're taking a major risk, you want to make them feel good about being able to get their money back if something goes wrong.
To do the same thing for our terms of service, we'll click into it and then click on Insert Template. Once again, go through, add your information, change anything that you'd like, and then click on Publish. We'll do our shipping policy next. This does not have a template available because you need to configure your own shipping policy.
The good news is Shopify actually does have a shipping policy. If you go into my description, I have a link there. If not, you could just Google search for it. So once you do land on the shipping policy page, go ahead and download it and add it to your store.
And then click on Publish. Then lastly, let's do our contact information. Let's click on Insert Template, fill out all of this information here, and then click on Publish. Now, if we go back to our store theme editor here, we can click on the Show Policy Links, and we'll let that refresh, and we'll see all of them populate here properly at the bottom.
Okay, our front page is pretty much all done, but what if somebody actually clicks on one of our collections or products? So let's go ahead and create our product pages, and we'll have Hogan go ahead and show us how to do that.
As this. Next, I want to show you guys how to edit your product pages. So you want to click on Products, and then click on Default Products. Okay, so right now we are on a product page. So what we are actually editing is the product template. So we have one product template and we're editing that. So it's going to be assigned to the 8 products which are basically connected. So I'll talk a little bit about creating templates in a minute, but right now we can edit the default template. So we can click into the product media. We can change how this is displayed. Do you want to display it in a grid or a carousel layout? For example, something like this. And you can also change the icons. So you can see the icon here. You can change it to the large one or a different one. For the pagination, we can also change it to thumbnails. So you can see the thumbnails like that on the bottom. You can also change the mobile pagination. So how it actually looks on the mobile for the pagination. You can click on the mobile to see how that displays. For example, do you want it to be dots like this, counter, or a hint? So a hint is basically where it shows a preview of the next item. I think a dot is nice. Let's click back to the desktop. And for the position of the thumbnail, you can also adjust that to be on the left or on the right hand side. For example, on the right hand side. And you can also adjust the size. For example, do you want to make it a little bit smaller? Maybe let's try 48 pixels. And for the aspect ratio, I normally recommend auto because as you can see, the portrait mode, it sort of extends too much and it's not proportional. This one looks a lot nicer and the image is contained. And you can also play around with the different settings here as well as the spacing. But I think that's okay like this. So on the right hand side, we can also edit that. So we can click into the text. You can edit the sort of size of the text, but we're going to leave everything as default. I think it's quite nice already. For the price, we can also edit that. So for example, we can change the size, click on custom, and maybe it's a little bit too small. Let's change it to 18 pixels. And we can scroll down here. For the accelerated checkout, I think I want to disable that so we can hide it.
So you can keep the PayPal logo there or remove it. It's up to you. But one reason to keep it is PayPal has over 20 years of building a credible brand where people know if they use PayPal and something goes wrong, they'll get their money back. So it's up to you if you want to hide it, but I recommend keeping it.
And you'll be able to see all the different elements on the left as well. So you can control it here. And for the policies, we're going to leave that there. This is the product description. And this is the recommended products. So you can click into that and also adjust that if you need. And if you want to add additional sort of sections to sort of talk about your product more, maybe you want to display more of the benefits and the features of the product. And what we can do is add a section. So you can build out this product page like any other page that I've showed you previously. So you can use some of the different, for example, the storytelling elements to display maybe the benefits. So let's say, for example, we want to use this one here. Then that's going to be added below. And maybe we can click on it. And then let's drag it maybe above the recommended products like that. Okay, so from there, you can edit the image and edit the text. If you want to create another section, then you can create another section and we can click on save. So that's the basics of editing the product page.
The next policies we want to create are for the policies we created. So that's about us, privacy policy, terms of service, as well as frequently asked questions, contact us, etc. So let's go ahead and create those, and we'll have the official Shopify video show us how to do that.
To begin creating pages for your Shopify store, start at the Shopify admin panel, navigate to Online Store, and select Pages from the sidebar. From there, click Add Pages. Done. Or at least not yet. To make sure you are creating a store that's functional, informative, and tells a story, here are the pages that are essential to build. Number 1, the About Us page. I don't care what you're selling, every website needs an About Us page. By sharing with your audience the story of your company, it humanizes your brand, builds trust with your customers, and enhances credibility. It also encourages engagement with customers who resonate with your brand mission, and can even improve your SEO. How? By including keywords that can help raise your company in the ranks so those people who want to engage with you will find you faster. A good About Us page includes the following. 1, an origin story. How did you begin and why did you decide to sell these products? What problems were you looking to solve? Are there any funny anecdotes you'd like to share? What is your company's mission and values? Time for number 3. Number 3, the Contact Us page. Very simple. You want to make sure there's a way to contact your business. So make sure to include your business email, phone number, and address. Consider also a contact form for easy customer communication.
I spoke a lot about trust in this video, and the Contact Us page is a continuation of that. If people don't see any way to contact you, they're not going to buy anything. They think you're just trying to take their money and run away with it. So do try to have something on there, whether that's an Instagram page, Facebook page, email, phone's best, but just something on there so they can get a hold of you.
Next, the FAQ page, or otherwise known the Frequently Asked Questions page. This might be something you set up later once you accumulate data regarding what questions you're often asked. However, you can start with answers to queries regarding shipping expectations, refund policies, return policies, facts about your products, etc. And then finish the page with another contact form for any outstanding questions. This page is important mostly because it will save you time answering the same emails repeatedly. Having an FAQ anticipates the needs of your audience, which in turn makes your customers feel more secure by improving their customer experience.
Now that our pages are done, let's add them to the front page of our store so people can actually find them. To do this, we're going to go into the back end, we're going to go to content, then menus, and you'll see that there's already some there. The top one has what's going to be in our header, and then we have our footer there as well. So let's go into the header. And since most people know you click on a logo to get to the home page, we'll delete that one. As you can see, Nike doesn't have one at all. So now let's go ahead and add another menu. And this is where we have our About Us or any of the pages we want at the top. Then we'll hit save and we'll go to the front end of our store and you'll see it has the menus I've added. So we spent a lot of time building up credibility with our store. So hopefully somebody buys. Actually, I know they're going to buy. So let's set up our payments. So we go to the back end, click on settings down at the bottom, and they'll bring up the section where we have our payments. And we'll have the official Shopify guide show us how to do this.
To set up your payment gateways, head to the Payments tab to view Shopify Payments. With Shopify Payments, you can accept various payment methods directly on your Shopify store without needing a third-party provider. If you'd like to add more payment options, you can do this by scrolling to Supported Payment Methods and clicking Add Payment Methods to select and activate any other providers you want to use. To review and edit your checkout configuration with the checkout editor, head to the Checkout tab. Click Customize and you can edit the appearance and functionality of your checkout page by adding your logos, preferred colors, fonts, etc. And then once you're happy, click Save.
A really cool perk is that with Shopify, you can actually get competitive shipping rates from Shopify partners. You can see here that USPS has discounts up to 88.5% off. You can check out what offers you have for your country under the Shopify shipping section in your admin settings. Next, you will need to decide on your shipping rates and methods. Here are the 3 shipping rate options. You can do exact shipping costs, where you charge the customer the same as the carrier to ship the product. Next, there is the flat rate shipping option. This is where you charge a fixed shipping rate based on the order value or weight. As an example, you charge a $10 fee to ship anywhere in America. Lastly, you can do free shipping and include the shipping costs in your product price. This can look really good to potential customers who want to avoid any extra costs. To set up your shipping rates, go to the settings in the bottom left corner and click on Shipping and Delivery. From here, you can create a shipping profile by clicking on New Profile. Give your profile a name to distinguish it, such as Fragile Products or USA Shipping. Then, add your products in. Now, it's time to add in your fulfillment location. This is where the product will be shipped from. Next, you can add a shipping rate and zone. This is where you will ship these products to and for how much. If you're shipping products from home, you may want to use a PO box for shipping and returns, so people don't know where you live.
I've made previous videos on how to get a PO box as well as how to get a virtual address in case you want to keep your personal home address private and safe. You can find them down in the description or in my channel.
From here, you can choose if you want to charge a flat rate or use carriers and apps to calculate the rate. You can see at the bottom here that you can add a handling fee to your order's subtotal. This can help cover fulfillment and handling costs. Ideally though, this will be included in your product price. Once you click done, you will see your shipping details here. You can see the shipping time, the requirements, and the cost. If you want to edit these sections, just click the 3 dots, then click Edit Rate. And from here you can change or add conditional pricing. You can choose to base your shipping on item weight or price. Next, to edit the zone, click the 3 dots and click Edit Zone. And you can add what countries you want to ship to in this section.
Unless you have experience shipping international, I recommend just shipping domestically. There's a lot less to deal with in terms of paperwork, especially if duties and taxes. So it's recommended to just stay domestic.
To set up shipping rates based on weight, add in your product weight under shipping on your product page. To do this, you can weigh your products at home or look at common product weights. You have the option to show the expected delivery date so that your customers know when it's going to arrive. Also, you can give customers the option for local pickup from your fulfillment address. Now, you get to choose how you will package your products. Luckily for you, as a Shopify user, you can actually get free packaging through certain partners. Make sure to check what's available in your country. To choose your package type, go to Saved Packages and click on Add Package. You get to choose between a box, an envelope, or a soft package, also known as a bubble mailer. Next, input the length, width, height, and the weight of the package when it's empty. This is going to be added on top of your product weight. There are package weight and size limits for each carrier. You can find more information on this under Shopify shipping carriers in the Shopify Help Center. If you already have a carrier account, you can connect it to get third-party calculated rates as well. Now, you can't just send a blank box. You need a shipping label. So here is how to make one. Once you've made your first order, you will now be able to create a shipping label. Click on Orders in your admin dashboard, and here you can print, reprint, or void labels. You can print these with a normal printer or a thermal label printer. In the scenario that a customer wants to return your product, it is important to have return policies and rules in place. Here is how you can set these rules up so that they are automatically applied to any returned orders. This means customers can only return items that are eligible under your rules. Your business, your rules. Go to Settings in your Shopify admin and click on Policies. In the Return Rules section, click Manage. Now, choose your return window and return shipping costs. If you want, you can charge a restocking fee here as well. You also have the ability to choose products and even collections that aren't eligible for returns, because we all know that there's some items that should not be returned. This is a really good tool for products you can't resell once they're used. To do this, select the products that you want to be final sale items and click Add Final Sale Item or Collection. Click Add and then click Save.
The last major thing we need for our store is to create our domain. As you can see, mine is some hideous looking thing. Everybody looks this way when they create a Shopify account. In order to change your domain by buying one or whatever, go down to domains in your settings.
To search for available domain names, in that domain section, click on Buy New Domain, enter your desired domain into the search bar, and then Shopify will then display all the available options and similar suggestions for you to choose from. Once you choose one of the available names, you can then purchase that domain through Shopify by simply clicking on it and following the prompts. However, if you do have an existing domain, you can also easily connect it to Shopify by selecting Connect Existing Domain. Next, setting up your domain. After purchasing or connecting your domain, you'll want to make it your primary domain, which is the address customers will use to access your store. To do this, go to the domain section, find the domain you want to use as your primary, and click Set as Primary. This ensures your custom domain is the default and appears in all of your store's links. Now let's talk about managing subdomains.
We actually don't have to worry about subdomains because most people starting out is not going to need them. Everything you need that's besides your main homepage should just be a page. And we've already seen how to build bills, so stick with those. Okay, the next two settings I want to talk about are apps and taxes. And apps are up next, so let's go through them. Just like the iPhone, you can download many different apps to improve your store. So let's go to the Shopify App Store and let's download some. Real quick though, the reason why I have some here already is already connected, like Printify and Printful, as well as Shop to help out my store, because that's what I use for print out demand, and I collect payments through Shop. Okay, so once you get to the App Store, it shows you the most popular apps as of today. And if you notice, it has Facebook, it has Google and YouTube. Those are both used for advertising basically and social networking. If you use Canva, you can use Canva Connect. But the most important one is Judge Me. So I'll go through that one because a 5-star out of 5 stars out of nearly 30,000 reviews. And that's pretty unheard of for an app to have a 100% score out of so many. So what is Judge Me? Well, Judge Me basically turns your store into an Amazon-like thing. So this helps to alleviate any risks that customers don't want to take when it comes to buying things. So once you get a couple of reviews, whether it's 3 stars or above, customers are more likely to buy something if they know someone else has already bought it and said it's okay, you can trust this brand, you can trust this store. So however you can get reviews, try to get some as soon as possible, and use this app because it can create more conversions of interested people into actual sales. The next one up is Shopify Inbox, and this allows you to interact with your potential and current customers. So people could ask you questions and you could respond to them. That does mean you have more work to do, right? And we're all very busy. So it also does have AI helpful answers to help you out. And according to them, it helps convert customers by an increase of 70% because maybe somebody has a question of something and they're getting an answer quick enough that they say, okay, I'm ready to buy. So those are the ones I recommend checking out. However, keep in mind, the more apps you get, the more likely your store is going to slow down. And you don't want a slow store because people don't like that. They'll leave immediately if it's too slow and you won't get any sales. Okay, so we're on taxes and everybody hates taxes. They're complicated, etc. But Shopify Tax Service makes it much easier. As long as you have it on, you can also switch to these other companies. I don't know anything about them, but if you do, you might want to go with them. If you don't like them about taxes, like I do, well, I know some things. But anyway, Shopify's tax service does most of the work for you, especially if you're in the US or if you're in Canada or the EU. A lot of it's automatic for you. You just got to fill in the information. So let's go to the US. And if you see at the top, it has 0.35% transaction fees, but that only happens when you reach $100,000 in global sales. Clicking on it, that gives you more information on that. But as we go down, there's all different regional settings. But the most important one, I would say, is collect a new region, and you select what state you're in. So we just go up Alabama. And once you are a business in Alabama, whether that's a DBA, an LLC, etc., you register with them. They'll give you a sales tax ID. You put in here and click Collect Sales Tax. The rest of it down here is tax exemptions. So if you have any of those, even included on shipping, you go ahead and fill them in. That's taxes. Hopefully they're no longer scary for you. They're simple. I'm not a CPA or a tax professional, so I do recommend going out and typing in one. I'm sure you can find one that has worked with other online retailers because Shopify is not different. And CPA has worked with one online retailer. It's pretty much the same thing as this. Well, that was a long video, and it took a lot of work to make, so hopefully you enjoyed it and it was very helpful for you. My next one is going to be on Google Ads, so take a look on that one, and best of luck.